Hello, and welcome back to another Amulet D20 Twitch intermission break with Mass from BonkTable, going over the various lists from all the competitors. This list is Nick Bakemono. He is playing the Harem. I can only guess why he has called it that. Is it because of the spiders? Maybe. Maybe it's the spiders. So first spider we have here is a Warlord casting spider. If people don't know about these spiders, and something I should say about Uroni, is you're gonna have to give me a little space here, simply because Uroni's modular regiments are a little hard to read sometimes of what's actually in the unit and what is actually going on. It's a little tough, I find, a little bit. But if you can put up with that and re-going over lists, you should be fine. But let's get back to the Jormo Mashutsu. Once again, if I mess up any of the names, it's because I don't speak language very well. This is the spellcasting spider. So the big thing about this spider, and there's been a recent change where the healing spell on it, what heals just base 4 wounds, and the +1 defense spell on it both gain scaling. This is to counter the large brick play that Uroni was playing into. However, there was I'll let people into some behind the scenes chats at Hios. Was the spiders are really good. What if we played more of them? Was basically what it boiled down to for Uroni. And I wouldn't be surprised if people played more spiders. I think I was kind of like browsing some lists. I think someone is playing 3 spiders in here. I wouldn't be surprised if someone started playing 4 spiders. They're really good, and the big reason why they're really good is actually they're a bit harder to kill than you kind of expect. Like, you look at their stat line. It's movement 7, it's got class 3, what's actually pretty good, 11 attacks, a little under MSU quality of attacks. They are 18 wounds at defense 3, resolve 4 with evasion 2. They also have tenacious 1, and that what kind of keeps them going. So they're actually a little harder to kill than people kind of give them credit for. They also, with the spellcasting spider, can heal itself. They can perform a free additional spellcasting action. They cannot cast the same spell twice, however. Beforehand, it did not have that caveat, so you could cast +1 defense on 2 different units, healing 2 different units. But now you could also just like give it +1 defense to defense 4 and heal it 4 wounds, because why not? It's the Healy spider. This thing's annoying as fuck. Like, goddamn. But with its ability to hold out, it'll allow its low attack value of 11 in class 3 to kind of chew through enough things that it'll eventually turn the tide and win. The spiders seem to grind really well in that context, just due to their stat line and that tenacious. Cleave 1 helps them out in Fearless and Impact 5, because why wouldn't the spider not be scared of anything? It's a spider! Spider. So, in the Warlord Spiders Warband, this is a Mu character. Mu, I couldn't even tell you what it does. I know Fu, I believe, is the +2 speed. We're going to just go to my app real quick and head up on Uroni, and we will read what the cards do. Mu is Void. The regiment adds +1 to its evasion stat to a max of 3. Wow. Because you know it's worse than Defense 4 Spider. Evasion 3 Spider. God damn. That gets us into our Tengu, our 2 units of Tengu Bushi. These are MSUs, so they're 2 stands each. Tengu Bushi I actually quite like. The Vanguard 4 running up the table. They're flawless strikes on 1s and 2s. They have like really good clash. Their defensive profile is good against chip damage because they're wound 6, D3, R3. But if something like gets into them, I usually find that they tend to die. However, with their speed and the ability of Fu to get that +2 inches of movement, is it on their first move or it's their first march? Okay, well, it's better on the Bowbirds, but they can get up in the table into position where they need to. Also, with Fu, you can usually fluid formation them. That might be due to the Warlord trait. This one is Mu. I'm not gonna really go into there. Should actually talk about her supremacy. Once per round, when activating a regiment or character with her Mu card, if the regiment or character would benefit from the ideal effect, you may replace it with the following. The regiment gains loose formation. All friendly regiments acting by a Mu card benefit from it as well. So, going with anti-shooting build here, just off the bat. Fu is still good. It's gonna rocket these guys up the table. And it's also just with, they're gonna be speed 9 with Vanguard 4. So already, what are they going to be? 13 inches with another 7 after that. Oh, that's like what, 20 inches up the table? Yeah, you're scoring some stuff right there. I like the Tengu Bushi. They do kind of die when they get stuck in, but if you play them right, especially if someone gets stuck on one of your spiders, they can come in from the side and just do a ton of damage. What else we got here? Oh, this keeps going. Next thing we got here is 2 Oni and yeah, 2 Oni MSUs for Cleave 2. These guys are going to be doing the Juggernaut and Glorious Charge. So with their move 6, they're going to be threatening 11. Because of Glorious Charge, you can actually just like March Charge 17 pretty effectively, I found, with them, and still do enough damage and then get stuck in. Because of their wound 7, they tend to live against whatever counterattack. Like, they'll do enough damage on their impacts with Glorious Charge that they'll take out a stand or two. And then without that stand, their opponent won't be able to kill off one of your stands, and then you'll just kind of beat them over the head with your big-ass swords with do Cleave 2 and kind of win that fight and move on. They're kind of annoying. I'm kind of back and forth personally on the Tengu Bushi and the Oni. I like the Oni more for how straightforward they are. I know other players like the Tengu Bushi for how fluid they are. I do like this mix what's going on currently. What allows Mr. Nick to have some fluidity in his list and can choose what he's doing. Next warband, we got the Damnio. He is running 5 stands of... Hold on, I'm trying to read it. Wow, it keeps going. He's got a Kappa, 2 Kappa, 1 Origami, 1 Tengu Bushi. Okay, so this is this is going to be a Kappa warband. They're going to be under Sue. So Kappa with Sue is going to be able to flex if they want the Origami Warriors. What is it? Not Fu ability. Their Mu ability for Loose Formation, or Tenacious 2, or Tenacious, I guess Tenacious 1 now against shooting. Or if they want the Fu ability for Flawless Strikes on 1s. So that's a really nice thing about here. Kappa are actually like pretty good defensively as well, I find. Where are Kappa? There they are. Like stat-wise, 7 wounds defensively. Like it's going to be like this a lot. But their Cleave 1 and Flurry is actually a really good offensive profile on their 5 attacks. The Origami Warriors are always just going to sit in the back of the regiment. They're mostly used as extra health for their big bricks. And the change lethal demise, once the stand dies, you just take 4 instead of like the 6, I think is actually a really nice change. The 1 Tengu Bushi is in there. This is what I've seen from the Polish players. They usually add 1, and with the Kami brick to Sue into the Tengu Bushi for the Flawless Strikes on 1s for the rest of them. Especially on Flurry with the Kappa. That's just going to get you more 1s and more Flawless Strikes, from my understanding. What's just going to mean more damage. It doesn't look like the Damio has any upgrades. Does he? No, he's got Discipline. This is done really weird just because I double paged it. If I do 1 page, it should look a little better. Yeah, this split's really weird. He's got Gumbai. Let's find out what Gumbai does, because I don't know. I don't think I've actually seen it on anyone take that before. He gains forward force. Did he not actually just have forward force innately? No, he did not. Would you look at that? Also, he gets to pick his ideal. He picked Fu, what I believe is the correct choice, just because he gets around the table. That's fine there. He's got Tengu Akashui. These are the shooty birds. Fu is going to work really well on them because going 9 their first move and then shooting 14. They're really effective. The shooty birds, or the Tengu Akashi, are basically just like, you kind of want to look at them as like chariots. They kind of act like chariots that can fly and are faster. So they're really annoying. But if you can deal with chariots, you can deal with these guys. They do have 1 less wound than the Tengu Bushi. So what tends to happen is once they get caught in melee, they usually just die pretty quick because it is only 10 wounds you have to chew through instead of like 12 or 15. But you should be able to keep yourself safe. We talked about the big brick. I've noticed like Polish players have been starting to do this with the Kappa. I like that Sue, like how they use Sue in that sense. Also with the Damnio, he is under Fu, so he can give them like fluid or +2 speed or whatever. Maybe, I think it's just +2 speed with the Fu and not fluid because the Warlord is not also Fu. Then we got the Oben. Oben has a forward force. He's got an Ofadu. I don't even know how to say that. Oh my god. We're gonna go quickly look up what that one is. Okay, I did find it. It's at the very end, way at the bottom. The Ufuda. When this character activates using a Mu ideal card, you may have the regiment this character is currently attached to gain the effects of any other ideal card instead. When this character activates using the Mu, he is under Chi. I don't know what Chi does. I'm not super concerned. We can check that out. You can tell my lack of Uroni knowledge here. Chi is Indom 2. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. So he can give Indom 2 to his regiment. Is he running another big brick? He is running... here we go. We got the Kami brick. So we got 3 Kami and 1 Oni. Oni probably for the Glorious Charge. If he uses a Mu, he can then swap into the Oni's one, so he can Glorious Charge the Kami brick. With the Chi, he's also getting Indom 2. The Kami are going to be Tenacious 1 baseline when they activate off their card and get +1 evasion. What's fine. Their evasion 1 goes to 2. Kami are super annoying to kill. They have some really good defensive stats, and that Tenacious 1 and the Indom 2 usually ends up being like really hard to eat through. So, and then also swapping to the Oni brick, because they have Impact 2, Glorious Charge with that is going to work really well, and the Tramples, that's just going to be really solid. I like this. So he's got 1, 2 bricks, 1 spider, and 4 MSUs by the looks of it off the top of my head. So yeah, overall, I think this is like a change on the classic like Uroni brick list that we've been seeing a lot of, especially from Hios. This uses some Polish tech with the Kappa brick, what I saw be used to great effect at Hios. I like this list. I'm going to go back to the 2-page spread just because I like it better. Overall, I think Nick can do really well. He's, once again, don't get bogged down. He has a ton of MSUs here that can also flex around and support his bricks. If he does a decline flank and takes over 2/3 of the table, he's going to be in a really good spot. The stat line of Uroni are just still really solid. There have been some nerfs to bring them back in, you know, the reduction of Tenacious 2, the scaling on the Healing Spider, and the defense abilities. You can't spam them, so you won't be able to +1 defense 2 things. So your opponent will have more opportunities, but with some clean play, Nick here should be doing really well at Amulet D20. So thank you for listening to this one. Let's get on to the next one.